Hi betting experts, on Saturday December the 21st, a cracking day of action on ITV on Saturday, covering the best of Ascot, where the long walk hurdles the feature at 2:25, and Haydock, where the Tommy Whittle Chase is one of the best races, handicap races of the season, although they haven't got the usual field size, it has to be said. The ground, well, at Ascot, good to soft at the time of recording, but plenty of rain in the forecast. Haydock is already edging on heavy ground, and looking at the weather forecast, they'll almost be lucky to go ahead. I think it's going to be as deep as it gets there. We start off with our betting expert daily nap, sponsored by Priced Up Bet. This goes in the 3:35 at Ascot. A 2-mile handicap hurdle. I think everything's in place here for Secret Squirrel at around 6 or 7 to 1 to win for Hughie Morrison. Now, he got himself handicapped last season. He's only run 6 times over hurdles in his life. His early days were spent pulling hard and making mistakes flying round Taunton, often giving his head from the front. He's got a huge engine, and it's now starting to all drop right under more patient rides. Now he's tackling these hot Saturday handicaps. He was extremely well back, down to 7 to 2 favourite for his return at the start of November over this course and distance. I thought he ran really well. He finished third behind the re-opposing Champ there. David Bass just slightly overdoing things after fiddling the early hurdles, dropped out well in rear, but Secret Squirrel ran on very strongly up the Ascot straight. I thought he probably should have won, ridden a little bit more handier with a fluent round of jumping. There's loads more to come from him after only 6 starts over hurdles so far, and I think he can improve past these rivals. He won't mind if it does become soft ground. I don't think he'd want it any worse than that. He is quite a free-going sort still, so perhaps good to soft in places would be fine, and hopefully he can swoop late and pick these off. Our betting expert value angle selection, sponsored by Priced Up Bet, goes in the big race at Haydock, the 2:05, the Tommy Whittle handicap chase over 3 mile and 1 furlong, and I think James Owen can strike here with East Street. Now, James has transformed the fortunes of any number of horses so far this season from other yards. He got this one from Sue Smith, and he's been a revelation. He had his stamina tested for the first time here last time out, went back down, I think 13 to 8 on he started, and he won fairly easily, only by just over a length, which has certainly helped his handicap mark only inch up a little bit more. I think there's loads more to come from him, and he should go really close with a clean round of jumping. This is a better race, but it has to be said, most of them are fully exposed, and I don't think East Street is for these connections. There could still be a little bit more to come. The remaining 5 races on ITV on Saturday, we'll do them in time order. Over to Ascot for the 150, a graduation chase over 2 mile 5. Well, I think Iroko will justify a short price here for the excellent Greenall and Guerrero combination. Now, their young training team, well worth following. This one's the one they've got for JP McManus. I think they'll be very keen to do well. I suspect JP will be sending them a lot more horses over the coming years. He was very well supported on his return at Haydock in the mud last month, but just got pipped, just out-battled perhaps, having been ridden with supreme confidence in those desperate conditions. I think going right-handed will help Iroko. This small field should suit. I think John Joe will be sat very still throughout and can hopefully quick and clear after the last. He's liable now to be a very short price in a race that's rather cut up. Staying at Ascot for the day's feature, the 2:25, the Grade 1 long walk hurdle over 3 miles. Well, I think Katira is the one to side with. She's race fit. She comes from a yard absolutely flying. 17 winners in the last fortnight. Dan, she's got the £6 mare's allowance, which I think is massive, and I think she's got a little bit more of a turn of foot than some of these sluggards, and hopefully the ground won't get too bad. She handles soft ground really well, but she's a smooth traveller with a sharp turn of foot at the business end, and I think if it stays sort of good to soft, that'll be very beneficial to Katira's chances. Back to Haydock for the 240, a small field for this listed mares contest over 2 mile 3. Well, Holloway Queen comes from the Nicky Henderson yard that always does very well with these mares. She showed promising points. She was very well back late for her Lingfield hurdling debut, and she got the job done looking a stayer, and I think the long Haydock straight will be much more suitable, and a much more galloping track will play to her strengths rather than Lingfield. Obviously turned downhill and raced downhill. She got a bit unbalanced there, but she picked up strongly when asked, and hopefully she can see these off. And again, it could be a tactical small field. Back to Ascot for the 3 o'clock. A handicap chase over 3 miles. Well, Flegmatik is one of those horses of Skelton's that he's been a big price all winter, but he showed a lot more last time out. He's back at Ascot here. The yard's absolutely flying. He's a big price. He's just the sort of horse who could easily drop in. He's got a good record at Ascot. Maybe he'll need another run or two and a few more pounds shaved off his mark yet for the cash to arrive, but I think he's a very interesting runner here. Certainly at the current prices, he's a double figure price with priced up bet, and that is quite appealing on his form. Certainly his back form and overall Ascot form is very interesting. And finally at Haydock for the 3:15, a fiendishly difficult handicap hurdle over 3 miles. Well, Castle Rushen is pretty exposed, but I thought he ran an absolute career best at 33-1 here last time out in a Premier Saturday handicap, travelling really strongly, longest on the bridle, just one pace from 3 out there. Hughes is booked again. I think a patient ride is on the cards, and the heavier it is, the better for him. Best of luck with all 7 races on Saturday, betting experts, and please do check out our sponsor, Priced Up Bet.